Hello, today is Saturday. It is the 3rd day of November 2012. Earlier today, I was watching a video on RT America called The Resident Will Sandy Change the Outcome of Election Day? The resident is Lori Harfinist. I might have pronounced that wrong, but that is how you pronounce it. And she was talking to people in New York City. Usually she talks to foreigners or people who are traveling to New York, but because this happened to be a domesticated election, then she mainly talked with local people. Sharon was one local people who stated, Romney is a much bigger natural disaster than Hurricane Sandy, and I hope people realize that and vote for Obama. See, it's tough for me to see people are wanting to hope that people vote for somebody that supports a fiat currency guaranteed to cause suffering, panic, and a lot of bad things, which I was kind of hoping Sharon would understand how currency was created. But you know what? It's been since 2007 since this information's been out there, but people seem not to care, which is, again, a frustrating thing to report, but that's the truth. So anyway, Lori Harfinist says, you don't think there is anything wrong with Obama? And she replies, I think there's plenty wrong in terms of his foreign policy in the Mideast, but unfortunately he is the lesser evil. Boom. This is the biggest one right here. Unfortunately, he is the lesser evil. First of all, why is it unfortunately? Why is there no other choices or something? And he is a lesser evil. So again, why would you want to choose the lesser evil? Here's an idea for you. Let's grab the two most grossest things you can eat. Think of it right now. Which of the two do you want to eat right now? Exactly. You're going to choose something else. That's the big thing. And people have been, in my opinion, brainwashed to think there is no other options. And some people say, yeah, yes, there is. There's a third party. And, well, that is just so. I don't know what else to say about that because, A, most third parties support a fiat currency guaranteed to cause suffering and debt, and B, it is set up in a system where they can never win anyway. But if 51% of the people, or more, but majority rules, of course, so 50.1% of the people, or 501 out of every 1,000 people, decide to call their local officials, whether it be the politicians, go down to their local banks or something in that area, and start to complain about how they do not like a fiat currency that is monopolized by central bankers, that guarantees debt, thus guarantees economic chaos within the people and just hardships, then there'd be no other choice but for the powers that be to change things. In fact, if everyone decided just to ignore the fiat currency, the powers that be would lose that power. Moving on to one more, and then we're going to get into another quick little thing as far as 37 bad things going on right now. But another person was Joseph from New York, and the question was, are you still going to vote on Tuesday? Yes, with a huge emphasis on that. Let me tell you something. The city could have been wiped away if the voting polls still stand. I have to be there, which I'm just going to let you decide what you think of that for yourself. But there's 37 facts about how cruel the economy has been to millions of desperate American families. And just maybe this might be that guaranteed suffering that I've talked about when you use a fiat currency monopolized by central banks that only they can create. They thus charge interest. Thus you try to pay it back. It never exists. There's the problem. Anyway, one recent survey discovered that 40% of all Americans have $500 or less in savings. Another different recent survey found that 28% of all Americans do not have a single penny saved for emergencies. In the United States, there are close to 10 million households that do not have a single bank account. That number has increased by about 1 million since 2009, which to me I think is a good thing. If everybody didn't have a bank account, that would help create the problem because banks, of course, to me, they're the problem. Family homelessness in Washington, D.C. region, which is one of the wealthiest regions in the entire country, has risen 23% since the last recession begun. There's a lot of different things on here. You'll see things about technological unemployment. Number 11, since January 2009, the labor force in the U.S. has increased by roughly a little under 1 million, but those not in the labor force has increased by over 8 million. This is how they've gotten the unemployment numbers to come down. There's a lot of different things in here. According to U.S. Today, many Americans have actually seen their water bills triple over the past 12 years. Electricity bills in the United States have risen faster than the overall rate of inflation for 5 years in a row. Again, we got stuff like the rate of inflation, unemployment rate and stuff. and yet I'm supposed to support economic leaders that support stuff like that. It's very difficult for me to do so, especially when they support a fiat currency guaranteed to cause suffering and death. There's a whole bunch of different things in here. You can take a look at it, but every single one of these is backed by the article that you see on each one of these things, which really indicates the severity of this type of system. Thank you for tuning in, and have yourself a great weekend.